I don't even know, how many days of work I missed and how many days I was just there sick, right? At work getting everybody else sick. Once I did that, I have not, and I'm not saying this is going to happen to everybody because I know how to treat it when it happens. I have not had a respiratory issue go to my lungs since 2019. My allergies, I would go out. I have chickens, I have, dogs, we have, a little bit of property. Every day I would go out to my chickens and come back and literally just my nose, eyes running. I just start grabbing tissues and start sneezing. So it doesn't mean I don't have allergies, but my allergies have changed significantly. And that's what I talk about. It doesn't mean that issue is going to completely go away. I still sneeze every once in a while, but I rarely have that runny. I used to just do that sneezing, 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 spasmodic sneezing. And unless we have the smoke issues, which that will set me off as the smoke issues, and we have that coming through the state. I usually don't have those issues. And I know what to do if I start to feel something. I haven't had COVID. I haven't had anything like that because I know how to treat stuff, nip it in the bud, and because I was able to get my immune system up with that calcarea carbonica. So it's a very simple remedy. So for $10, I used one bottle and changed my life. And I can smell better, I can taste better. And so once I saw that and I did that for myself, I'm like, whoa, this stuff actually works. I was very skeptical. I really was. My son he had restless leg syndrome, which I didn't know. From the time he was one, he would wake up with terrible pains, crying. And at one point, I had two babies, and he was waking me up more than my nursing baby was. And so they told me give him, children's Tylenol up to 3 times a day. And I'm like, that's not good for his liver. And now you see all the lawsuits that are going on. And so I was determined to find something else. So we found by giving him some supplements, a potassium, we could stop it. But if we forgot, by 11 o'clock, he was in pain again and crying again. And so I started doing research once I started going into homeopathy, and I learned about Cupra Medicallium 30 and he did it twice a day for about 9 weeks. And we started to realize, oh my gosh, he's not getting the pain every day. It went to once a month. So with homeopathy, we want to see it happen less frequently. It doesn't mean it was cured overnight. He had a lifetime of that pain, but we started seeing it less and less. And now he's actually, they were just, my husband and my son were just training. They did 4 days in the wilderness over Memorial Day weekend. And so, yeah, he came back with some leg pain. I sent them with a kit so that I make these kits for people. So if they were taking homeopathy, so to prevent leg pain, my husband gets terrible Charlie horses when he hikes like that. So I tell them what to take. And every time you stop, you take this, and to prevent it, put it in your water. And then they came back. Yeah, they were sore, 4 days of hiking, right? Sleeping on the ground. But they were not nearly where my husband would be in so much pain. He'd get up in the middle of the night and just pace and pace. And I said, okay, we're not going to have that anymore. So we figured it out. So like I said, when I started seeing these wins in my family, I was just like blown away. My daughter, I told you, had acid reflux and was on medication from the time she was born. So I used Lycopodium 30 2 times a day for a while. And we got her to the point where every once in a while she still has some, she'll eat something and she'll have pain. But she's like, Mom, I don't need that anymore. I'm better now. So, it's like we were on medication. We would get it from TRICARE, 3 months worth of medication at a time for her. And so in the mail. And we don't have to use that at all anymore after a $10 remedy, right? Bovista. So I had food allergies to pork and peanuts. And growing up in New Mexico, where we have potlucks all the time and pork and everything, going to Germany, oh my gosh, I actually ended up getting really, really sick in Germany because even with the soup that they say is vegetable made, they would use a pork broth. And so I really struggled. So I would be in serious pain. Well, anyway, I used this one and I used it for over a year, Bovista. And now I can have peanuts and I can eat pork. I can go to our church group meeting or whatever, and not be in fear of what I'm going to be eating, which is huge. Do I feel the peanuts a little bit? I will still feel a tiny bit in my throat. I'm not eating tons of peanuts, but I needed to get to the point where I wasn't reacting and getting sick. Female issues, anemia, dizziness issues, I've taken care of all those. My husband had reoccurring nosebleeds.